So today we're gonna talk about a subject that I am very passionate about. It tends to make me a little crazy, not like crazy, but crazy enough that I care and I really wanna get this message across because it's very important to me and your success is very important to me. And the message that ultimately that I'm gonna share with you today is, sorry, they just don't. We're gonna go into detail about what that means, why they don't work, and what does work. Because we want something that's life-changing and something that you can do long-term. We're gonna talk about some of the downfalls with diets and how you can overcome your obstacles and being successful in your nutrition program. Because it's something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and it doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it seem. Okay, so let's get started. We don't ever wanna talk about your nutrition or your food habits as a diet, okay? We are making behavior modifications. When we make a behavior modification, it is something that you're going to practice and you're gonna perfect so that it's something that sticks with you long-term. Diet is very temporary and it's a very small moment in time, okay? I think that we end up in this situation or our day-to-day where we don't realize what is or isn't going into our mouth, right? Right. So we're gonna be mindful of that. You know what I'm talking about. And we're gonna create a plan. Everybody's plan looks different, and we're gonna find out what your plan needs to look like and how you can start making that very realistic for your life. Okay, and we're gonna talk about how to balance your meal. Everything in life needs to have balance, right? Where there's light, there's dark. Where there's yin, there's yang, right? Where there's pizza, there's broccoli. Where there's exercise, there's Netflix, right? So this is very, very important, and we wanna make sure that we are living in balance and enjoying our life. So I'm sure we're all familiar with some of the popular diets that are going around. You've got low carb diets, keto, intermittent fasting, you've got paleo, you've got people that are trying to go vegan. All of these things are very good as far as using as a tool for certain populations. But when you're talking about like the general public, most people don't need to be on these long term to see success. And it's not conducive to most of our lifestyles. Remember, it's very important that we find a nutrition and a food program that fits into your lifestyle that you enjoy and that you're satisfied with. If you're not satisfied with what you're doing and you don't see yourself doing it, a year, 2 years down the road, consistently and seeing positive change, then you probably need to evaluate if it's working for you. So when we're looking to make a behavior modification surrounding our food and our nutrition program, we wanna sit down and we wanna evaluate what we're currently doing. If we don't reflect on what we're currently doing, we have no idea how we need to move forward to progress, to see success. Okay, you don't just wanna jump in and just get going. That's how we set ourselves up for failure. And I'm not here to coach you guys on how to fail. I'm here to coach you guys on how to succeed. So some things when you're evaluating your diet that you wanna sit down and think about is you wanna look back and say, do I have any sweet cravings? Do I crave salt? When do I have these cravings, right? Am I hungry after meals, specifically late at night? How does my energy look, right? Am I eating out most of the day? Do I have time to cook? Do I not have time to cook? Where are my setbacks? What is getting in the way of me eating the foods that I know I should be eating, right? I'm not here to tell you that McDonald's is bad for you. We know that McDonald's is not the greatest choice, right? I'm here to tell you how to make realistic changes based on what you're already currently doing. Once you've sat down and evaluated what your nutrition actually looks like and how mindful you're being, right? You want to start to look at the potential barriers that you have coming up. Social obligations, kids' birthday parties, do you travel a lot for work? Do you have time to cook, or do you guys typically eat out, right? Are you craving certain foods at certain times of the day during certain periods? You wanna look to see what could potentially get in the way of you achieving success. That way we have a plan in place to overcome those barriers when they arise and we can still move forward. Now it's time to start creating a plan, okay? You don't have to overly plan every aspect on every meal, but you need to have some sort of guideline or blueprint as to what your day is gonna look like. Failing to plan is planning to fail, all right? And it couldn't be more true, right? If you don't have something set in place, that's how we skip breakfast. Oh, we got really busy, so we worked through lunch, and oh crap, it's 6 o'clock, I haven't eaten all day. Now I'm gonna binge on this huge meal. The idea is to eat food and still lose weight and feel great, right? You wanna have a good balance between healthy eating and satisfied eating. So when it comes to creating your plan, you really do wanna start small. So start with 1 to 2 habit changes, okay, per week until you're 90% compliant. The example I always like to give is I love to tell my clients to drink more water. The idea is to drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. I give that task to them for a week. If they failed more than 2 days, we do it again. I've not talked about how to change their eating, what to have for breakfast, when to eat lunch, what to cook, because that's too much. We're human and we mess up. And if we don't start slow, that is ultimately how we fail. Be patient. If you want this to last and you really want these goals that you're working on, start small. Give yourself little victories, because those little victories are gonna keep your fire lit and they're gonna keep you going. You don't have to be super competitive, but nobody likes to lose. Okay, so now let's talk food, okay? The moment you guys have all been waiting for. Remember, I'm never going to take away food. Food is meant to be enjoyed. I love food. If anybody knows me, they know that I cannot wait to get my hands on a good meal, and I never skip a meal. There's no way. And if I'm skipping a meal, I'm highly cranky, because food is really important to me. And that's a big part of our culture and the way we live our lives. We gather around the table, we go out to eat, we socialize. That is what brings us together. So we wanna make sure that we have a good relationship to food, because it's how we live our life. So I'm never gonna ask for perfection. I'm only gonna ask for 80%. Okay, so we're B average here. That's 80% good eating, 20% bad eating, all right? So if you quantify that, that's 4 bad meals a week that you get to eat, okay? If you think about it, that's a pretty good amount, all right? When you're looking at what you're eating throughout the week, it is always, always, always important to remember, never ever overeat, okay? Even if you're eating steak and broccoli with a side salad, if you overeat, you're just eating too many calories, okay? And the same thing goes with your cheat meals. Don't overindulge. So when it comes to your cheat meals, you really wanna think ahead, okay? Do you have any birthday parties coming up? Are you traveling? Are you going out with friends or your spouse? Okay, use those as one of your 4 cheat meals, okay? It gives you something to look forward to during the week and helps you stay consistent up until those points. We wanna make sure that you're looking forward to what you're cooking or what you're eating. If you're not looking forward to your next meal, or it's actually not even a thought, that's how you fall off. That's how you end up just ordering pizza or going through the drive-thru or making a bad decision, and then you're not staying on track, okay? So if you typically are on this new fitness journey and you're trying to eat better, and you put on the menu chicken, broccoli, and rice, and you're not looking forward to it at all, and you're gonna tell me that after a long day of work, you got kids screaming, dogs screaming, people screaming, like there's just a lot going on in your household, you're very, very unlikely to cook chicken, broccoli, and rice, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna put on your menu something that you're gonna look forward to as if it's like a reward or a treat at the end of your day. So instead of cooking that broccoli, chicken, and rice, Okay, maybe you switch it up and do like a chicken fajita bowl, and then you've got lots of bell peppers and onions and avocado, cilantro, chicken with a little bit of rice in there. Okay, that's gonna be something a little bit better to look forward to. That meal is gonna be a lot more satisfying than just plain chicken and broccoli, okay? If you're craving something, like let's say you're craving a burger, make that burger from home. You're less likely to fall off the wagon if you just cook that burger at home as if you were to cook that or go through the drive-thru and pick that up on your way home, right? You get all these fresh ingredients, you're getting good quality meat, okay? Pickles, onions, tomatoes, and it's still just as satisfying, if not even more satisfying, and it will keep you satiated or fuller a lot longer, which means it's gonna prevent you from getting into those late night snacks or digging into the pantry after you've had that drive-through meal. So what I'm gonna show you guys today is a really simple go-to meal that I really like. It's quick, it's healthy, and it's satisfying. So what we're gonna do is I really like using these red lentil pasta noodles. Okay, they're made from lentils, so they're really high in protein. You're getting 14 grams per serving, but you're also taking out that gluten, gluten-free, as well as the wheat product, okay? We're gonna do some chicken breasts. We're gonna add some pesto, and then we're gonna season the chicken. Okay, so don't be afraid to season. That's what's gonna make your food taste good. And again, we're gonna go back to you want your meals to be satisfying. All right, so I'm gonna show you and walk you through what I do from start to finish. Should probably take you anywhere between 20 to 35 minutes. I also really like this meal because it's really easy to make a large quantity. So you've got enough for leftovers for the next day so you can grab it for lunches, and it kind of helps keep you on that plan to making sure that you're staying on track with your goals. So once you've cut the chicken breast up, okay, obviously you're just gonna boil the noodles about 7 to 8 minutes, really quick, okay? And then we're just gonna add the chicken breast. Woo! Careful, hot oil, okay? And if you don't have a dog or a child at your feet, you're really not cooking the right way. So all I'm going to do is just add a little bit of salt, pepper. These are my staples. This goes in like every meal I cook ever. If it's Mexican, I add a little cumin and chili powder, but for the most part, just a few simple seasonings. And then all you're pretty much going to do, cook chicken until, I don't know, 165 till it's done, right? And then we'll mix it all together. So after your chicken is done and your noodles are done, once you strain the noodles, you want to make sure that you rinse them immediately in cold water. When you're working with like chickpea or lentil noodles, they tend to stick together if you don't rinse them in cold water. And you want it to be cold so they don't continue to cook and fall apart. When they are rinsed in cold water, they get this really nice texture as if you're using a wheat noodle. Really good. Okay, so then you add your chicken, your pesto, and then always add less sauce first. Mix it around, get a good amount. Typically, you don't need as much sauce as what you think you would need, and you're gonna save yourself a lot of extra or added calories. So always remember, less is more. See if you like the amount after you've stirred it around. Once you've done that, serve it into a bowl and enjoy. This is one of my staples. It's very, very good and super easy.